Thank you, Sangha. Thank you, Thay. And I hope that this morning that we will send our merit to Bante for quick recovery and healing for him. I know this, if it's long COVID stuff that he's suffering from, it's just irritating because you can't figure out when it's coming and when it's going to go. Kind of like life, isn't it? Yeah, very much so. So Thay has asked me to say a few words this morning, and as most of you know, I can be a person of few words or many words. Kind of depends on where the head is at the moment. But what I would like to say to you this morning is sort of connected to the question that was asked of us during our check-in this morning, and it sort of correlates to where my mind has been going lately in my own walking of this path. I have so many faults and so many areas where I don't meet my own expectations, or even sometimes the expectations of other people, that I sometimes get really stuck there. And the other day, I happened to come across a YouTube video of Joni Mitchell. Now, I know all of you young people there will probably not know who the heck I'm talking about, but next to Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell was somebody whose work and artistry in life meant so much to me in my much younger days. That her poetry and her ability to weave sound and music together was so impressive. And Joni has not performed for a lot of years. She did perform at Woodstock, where I did see her. I was there. I don't remember a lot of it, to be quite honest with you, but I definitely was there. But anyway, she hasn't performed for a lot of years, and I saw in this YouTube video that some of the younger performers had kind of regrouped her and invited her to reintroduce herself, if you will, to the public who may not know her. And what you may not also know is that she suffered a stroke a few years back, and that certainly has impacted her ability to perform with the artistry that she had before. If you've ever heard her, she had a beautiful, melodious, high resonance tone, clear as a bell, just absolutely beautiful. And now, after the stroke, and of course many years of smoking cigarettes too, I believe, she's pretty much in the bass register now when she performs. And yet she sat in the chair, and you could see the love that she had with her poetry and what she was able to express to people. And so she did the song which I love, which is Both Sides Now. And I'm going to read just part of the lyrics to you because it leads into where I would like to finish up with the thoughts in this offering to the Sangha today. So it says, tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way. Oh, but now old friends, they're acting strange. And they shake their heads and they tell me that I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something is gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow, it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. In those few words, capture some thoughts and some recollections of my previous thoughts and how I lived have come into where I am today. You know, we wonder, who are we? Think for a moment back 10 or 15 years, maybe more, maybe in Cozen's, in my case, we can think back 40 years or so. And think about what you were thinking. Think about what you felt. Think about the ideas that you had and that you supported, and how meaningful those thoughts and words and things were to you then. And now come forward to this very moment and try to determine, do you still feel the same way? And I would say for some of us, some of the things will probably feel the same, but many, many things have changed. Many things have changed. And how did that change occur? Well, that leads us to the concept that I've been really working with, trying to see it as clearly as I can, and that's the concept of no self. Ask yourself, who are you? Who are you? What is Ron? What is Miles? What is Donna? What is it that makes you who you think you are? You know, if I got my arm cut off tomorrow, would that make me not Ron? Was the arm Ron? Is my health Ron? Is what I do as a living Ron? Is it what I believe today, Ron? And the more and more that I work with this thought, I all of a sudden am getting closer and closer to a more clear understanding of no self. Sure, there's a body container, and sure, there's thoughts, and sure, there's emotions and feelings that are associated with this individual called Ron. But as I begin to strip them away through this practice of understanding that we are our thoughts and we become what we think, that gets us closer and closer to the concept of no self. And so as my body falls apart, you know, I can mourn that a little bit. I can even dislike it a little bit. But I can't attach to it because it's not who I am. It's just something that's occurring into this human vessel of which I have been encapsulated at this point in time, at this point and moment. Knowing who you are in a sincere way will lead you to no self, because you're not going to be able to find you until you open yourself up to the connection of the truth of that we are part of each other, that we are all members of this society, of this cosmos, of this energy, whatever it is. And we all serve a little bit of a different purpose. But the closer we get to recognizing no self, I believe will be the time that we find our most contentment, our most connections, and our most peace. As we lose the concept of self, all those things about, I want to be more productive, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to practice this more, all of those things become less important. Cozen refers to it as suchness. And I love that word because it's just such. It is just what it is. And so I encourage us all to just simply let it go. And how can we do that? Well, obviously by looking at the Dharma. There's lots of clues on how to get there. It's only taken me close to 20 years to creep into this little area. And allow yourself the opportunity to sit in quiet and peace. Because in this sitting in quiet and peace, that's when it all begins to fall away. And you will see it, you will feel it, and that becomes no self. Those are my words this morning.
It looks like Donna's got her hand up, either saluting or questioning.
Hi,
I was
Donna.
just going to say that if anybody has trouble understanding the concept of no self, I would follow the recommendation of Koro Kaizen Miles 2 weeks ago when he talked about the Jill Bolte Taylor's book, My Stroke of Insight. I bought that book, I read it, and it was a mind blower in terms of the concept of no self. So I really second your recommendation, Reverend Miles.
Thank you, Donna. That's absolutely good advice.
If I could comment, I read that several years ago, and it really is a wonderful look at how the brain works, and left brain, right brain. It's actually pretty good. It's one of the first neuroscientists who's gone through a stroke and reported. There's been a couple other that talk more about the rehab and their own personal emotions.
So I think that what the next thing that we would like to do is to move into
meditation. Would you?
Yes, of course.